Johnson Sirleaf of Liberia. Warlord, criminal, first female president of Liberia and Africa, Nobel Peace Prize winner, is incompetent, sold her country to a useless George Weah, and now they fuss. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Tony Commander Galpohkpa Chesson talk show. Today, as we wake up, it's December 22nd. Just 2 days and a wake up to Christmas. So what news do we have in Liberia? Among our leaders, as our people in Liberia starve, have no gifts, salaries, hopes, blessings for them or their households this Christmas. As the Liberian government and people and banks, our money are not being paid, and our leaders are fussing. Attorney Commander Galpohkpa Chesson tells his Liberian people time and time again that I am a teacher. I don't partake in useless politicking that derives no benefits from our country nor its people. So, I've told you time and time again that these two people behind me are the problems for and of Liberia and Liberian people. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and her hand-picked successor have destroyed our country. You can hit Rodney Chesson all the way you want to, but when Rodney Chesson tells you about his country, Liberia, know that he knows, understands, and appreciates what's he talking about. I live the life, I understand the game, and I try to teach my young people because there are very few of us left who can teach you all. You either accept it and understand the truths of your lives and your country so you can take the positive stands necessary to change the trajectory of your lives for your own progress and advancement, for your own benefits, for your own very futures. Let me put up my lesson and let's get into my topics for the day. Okay? Number one, tit for tat Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and her hand-picked President George Weah at odds. Number 2, Liberia in big money trouble. And number 3, shall Liberians ever recover from massive stealing? Ever? We have a grave problem and issue in our society. Let's get into my lesson. So number 1, tit for tat. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and her hand-picked President George Weah at odds. I've been telling y'all from time immemorial that blaming George Weah alone for the problems of Liberia is insanity. And for those Liberians who come on the social media, Twitter, and all these places, time and again, and say if George Weah changed, yeah, we like him again. How would George Weah change? We got so much money missing from our country. These people have driven our country down to the ground. And Ellen Johnson Sirleaf wants to act like she's innocent, and she's not. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf cannot claim any innocence in this game of stealing, corruption, and killing. She can't. And all my Liberian people, let me tell you something. I cannot follow foolish people. I cannot follow people because they're my relatives and are seeing they're following evil and corruption, and I will keep silent and follow them. Not for ma, not for pa, brother, sister, kinsmen, no relatives or friends. No. My country been on a stealing path for too long. My people, look at our country, man. No money in Liberia. What does that tell you? Who you blame? There's the ignorant boy over here. Look at him. This man look like somebody you can trust with your money. And look at the other old man. Deceitful, Harvard graduate, educated elite, worthless, stealing, and brought Liberia down to this point. Why you think Ellen Johnson Sirleaf crossed the party line and left Joseph Boykai to go pick this ignoramus? Why you think she did it? Let me tell you now. But when I come on, you'll say Chesson better. You'll say Chesson talking craziness. You want revenge because he bad. But you evil people never take the time, or you immature Liberian politicians or advocates never take the time to study the people who are your leaders. How you always support my Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and blame George Weah when y'all saw the woman cross the party line to go get this man, who she knows is uneducated, who she knows cannot read, cannot write, he's illiterate, who she knows is the ignoramus. Then she go take the man and introduces him to the world. Not even her own people, to the world. And say, this is my choice for my people's future. Now look at the future. We have just 3 years after Ellen Johnson gave everything in our country to this idiot as her successor, as the man to lead young Liberians into the future. Who can we blame? Who can we blame? That's my only question to you. So let's get into this issue now. Just yesterday, December 21, exactly 3 years to date, to the very date when Ellen Johnson Sirleaf betrayed Boikai and went to Bong County to celebrate with George Weah at a groundbreaking ceremony in Gbarnga. When Boikai had just 5 days for his rerun election against George Weah, my Ellen Johnson Sirleaf crossed the party line and went up to celebrate with George Weah, indicating to the Liberian people that she rejecting Boikai and supporting George Weah. That was a slap in the face, a kick in the groins to George Boikai. And you see it time and time again, after the woman did this to Boikai, the UP continue to come to the woman for advice. That's what make me know that Boikai is incompetent to lead Liberia. A woman did this to you, and you keep going back to the woman and calling her to your party for advice. What kind of advice this woman will give you? The woman was brave enough, or even she didn't give a damn about you to come in the party to advise you. Because just calling her back and giving her respect to advise you is idiocracy. Yeah, I know that word is sexist, but it should be. That's craziness. Numbskulls. Not that the people want to leave Liberia. What hope is there for our people and children? Then you'll say, Chesson the talk, but I gotta talk. Because I know, and I know the rest of y'all don't know. And the rest of y'all need education and learning. And I'm not boasting. It's not nothing to be proud of, it's something to be ashamed of. All the educated people in my country, nothing but rogues, financial, bribing our judges in the courts and the legislature. What kind of people are you? Ellen Johnson stealing billions of dollars from Liberia. Then she come here and put this thing on the poor on the road. They pull their road. We know George Weah is a rogue. We know George Weah is useless. We know George Weah is incompetent. We told you that when he was running for the presidency. Nobody can come down and tell me that. I see the man talk. I see the man can't write. I see the man is dumb. Jesus Christ doesn't have to come down to tell me that. He already showed me. If I turn my eye to this kind of man, go serve under him, I deserve anything that comes my way to me and my family. And so are the criminals behind George Weah. My people, we can't let our money go like that. We know all the criminals are among us. The people stealing the money and building right in our sights. And you still want to see the people in front of you? Me, I don't want to see George Weah no more. I ain't want to hear his name no more. I want my Ellen to go to jail. I want my Ellen to go to jail because my Ellen is the real wicked person behind this whole scheme. Now let's get into my lesson. Let me tell you why she's a wicked person. So yesterday, 3 years after her betrayal of Boikai, my Ellen comes on the air. And to the disdain of the Liberian people, this was her comment. I had to take my time, right? What did you know? Because I want to make sure I get it right. My Ellen comment was the opulence displayed at the lighting of the Liberian president's Christmas tree was indeed impressive. But with the country's economic climate, it is an affront to the thousands who have not been paid and are hungry. This is what my Ellen Johnson Sirleaf tweeted yesterday on Twitter. She thought she was being cute. She didn't know Chesson had been bombarding her about corruption and stealing and coming out and attacking poor George Weah lit Christmas tree in the heart of the darkness in Monrovia to bring some kind of Christmas light of joy. At least the people can look up and see one Christmas tree light somewhere in the darkness and despair during this Christmas. He lit his Christmas tree. And this old criminal old lady had nothing to do but to come on Twitter trying to act cute After she deceived this little dummy and got him carrying her load, then she put him on the spot. Opulence means wealth. For you people who don't know, I know you're just hearing the word opulence, and you will now go and check it out in the dictionary. It means wealth, riches. So she said, George Weah showed wealth at lighting his Christmas tree, making it bright in the middle of darkness. Just like a dictator. Your people suffering, no food to eat, that you can light Christmas light. To celebrate what? So my Ellen got pissed off too. At least she left one or two lights burning the country. Now all the lights gone. And Chesson been bombarding her. And she been hearing it. I received a letter from my Ellen Johnson Sirleaf with her first Liberian African woman thing, something telling me she's the first African woman. I can't change it. But I received the letter. My wife brought it to me. She said, oh, there's a letter for you. I said, will you open it? So she opened it. There is the pamphlet with my Ellen Johnson selling all the African people. I said, oh, Ellen Johnson sending them to tell me she's still the first lady. In case she first woman. In case what I say. But if coming back to hunt you, Ellen, you can send. I thought you didn't put no juju in that letter too. But you put it juju there, it's coming back to you and your children and your family. Because I'm under the cross. I don't got to wear on my neck the fagon. I mean, I almost died and he wear like hello cross. Man. Do I look like an idiot? I know my God. So when you wicked woman come out and try to impress upon the world that George Weah is the only criminal in our nation, when you are just as criminal or worse than him because you stole intelligently. What kind of intelligently? The woman had a chair in our government. Yeah, she's so intelligent because all the rest of the people in Liberia are dummy. The Vanny Sherman, the Philip Banks, the what her name? What your social just name? Sienna you, all the people are dummies. You get the people of our country to wreck. Then you think when Chesson tell you these people are idiots, you can tell him you bitter, you mad, and all of that, and get away with it. You need to be shamed. You need to be shamed, all of you Liberian people. But this is what she said to George Weah. Come out and attack her dummy, her own dummy. She come out and attack the man. Now all the Liberian people who know and tired with my Ellen been sitting on the fence listening to Chesson and know it's the truth, but they didn't want to talk. But when my Ellen came out to portray herself as something like guiding light, the people jump on her. Some of them say, why you never said this? Why you pick him? If you knew all of this, why you pick this man to be leader? They rebuked her. They rebuked, the Liberian people rebuked Ellen Johnson Sirleaf on social media and Twitter for that statement. And she took it down. Because when the Liberian got through with her, Forky Weah got on her too. Her own successor got on her. But you see, the deception and stealing and corruption going on in our country. And nobody can talk because everybody is a participant in ripping our country off. So they rebuke her. Some of them say, my Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, you aided and abetted in the current governance deficit. They say you participated in it. That was one of the statements. I just wrote a few. Then another one said, you forced George Weah on Liberian people. I told you. Now they say she forced them. Go to Providence American. Oh, excuse me, I want to extend courtesy to Providence American for use of this photo behind me as my backdrop. I looked at the newspaper and that was the first thing on this today's newspaper. So I said, oh yes, this is a good backdrop because the newspaper carried it as a headline that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is fighting with her own successor. They fussing now, and the truth is coming up. So that the Liberian people saying, you forced this man on us. We trusted you. We reposed our trust and confidence in you. You were with Boikai. You crossed the line on the same day you made this statement. December 21, 2017. You crossed the party line. You see how God is good? God made it this statement of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to come exactly 3 years after she betrayed George, after she betrayed Joseph Boikai and crossed her party line, Unity Party, and went to CDC and selected the standard bearer, George Weah, to be her successor. And once this woman presented George Weah to the international community, you know, Liberian people, everything is international community. And once she did that, it was finished. The Liberian people voted. They already loved George Weah. Then my Ellie sanctified him as her choice, as her hand-picked choice. What the Liberian people would do? They would follow Mama Ellen. And now, 3 years after, on the same date, God, thank you, Jesus. You are a blessed God, and no man can try to deceive your people. And when you have people to stand up, to speak out, the truth shall be revealed. A year, 3 years on the exact date when she betrayed Boikai, she comes out and tried to betray George Weah. So no. George Weah suck it back to her and showed the world and Liberia that they are a team of criminals. They are a team of betrayers, deceitful people, liars, and desperate criminals to rob Liberia and Liberian people of everything we have. And it has come to fruition. Our banks have money. And she won't come and talk stupidness to her successor. And all the world know Ellen Johnson Sirleaf started the war. The American people know she started the war. But to deceive us, they gave her the Nobel Peace Prize, thinking that they can deceive God. Jesus Christ owns Liberia. Liberia was founded on Christian principles. You cannot deceive Liberia, just like Donald Trump and all the evangelists cannot deceive the American people. You cannot use the foundation of Christianity to spread falsehood, deception, and lies to God's people, especially a young, innocent youth who are looking for leadership, guidance, governance, and direction. God will always come back to punish you. That's why when I speak, I think only of the young children of Liberia, because this thing cannot continue. Our leaders cannot continue to deceive us and think we are stupid when they're supposed to be the educated light of our people. You have a Harvard graduate deceiving Liberian people and putting her children and family over us to rob us blind of billions of dollars. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is a trouble in Liberian society. As long as she and her family exist, they are trouble to our society. How do we rid ourselves of this trouble? So, after all the Liberian people got through blasting my Ellen, telling her, you the problem. You brought George Weah, who were indecisive. Some of us were sitting on the fence, waiting to see what would happen, what the Liberian people would do. Then you crossed the line and brought him to us. So we jumped on the fence and followed him. And you, as the mother, of our nation. But behold, you have stolen millions. You have betrayed us with your family and grandchild and all these people. Now you won't come back to talk against George Weah, the very man you gave us as president. You are an idiot, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And I keep telling you that. So let me tell you what, let me tell the Liberian people what George Weah said. For the mere fact that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf stressed opulence in her statement to George Weah, for the mere fact she brought up the fact that George Weah was displaying wealth in a poor nation, no light, no water, the country in darkness. Why are you lighting Christmas light? To prove what? That you are the only baboon in the land? So it pissed my Ellen off. She come up to attack her own protege, her own hand-picked successor. She comes to attack him before the Liberian people. So George Weah said, nah, let's deal with this woman. So his topic on attacking my Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was on opulence. He was trying to explain to my Ellen what opulence really meant to him when it came to her. She talking about his opulence. Now let him talk about her wealth that she stole from the Liberian people. And he listed 5 points. Let me go through them. Number 1, opulence is when Chevron gives 10 million as CSR. I don't know what CSR is. I know these terminologies. And you let your sons to squalor all that money, mismanage, inappropriate $10 million Chevron gave to Liberia for some developmental prospect or project or something. CSR, I'll think about it later. These people, and my Ellen let her children, her 3 sons, Robert, Charles, and Fuma, squalor and squander the money. And there's no report, no records to show that these people use this money in the interest of the Liberian people. Number 2, opulence. You have $4 billion in foreign direct investment, but leave Liberia in abject squalor and poverty. So here it is again. My Ellen had $4 billion in foreign direct investment. But with all that money, she left Liberia with a deficit of $1 billion. So we'll get into that because I want to George Weah point to. This is not Chesson talking now. This is George Weah talking now. George Weah regime attacking Ellen Johnson Sirleaf on a point of wealth, opulence, because she attacked him. Say you showing all this wealth, but the people not getting paid, the people hungry, and he said, "Oh yeah, you talking? Let's talk about wealth. Well, our $10 million Chevron gave you for this development program, and your children squandered it and wasted it, and we can't account for it." Then number 2, you talking about opulence. What about the $4 billion in development, in foreign direct investment? People investing in our country $4 billion. And after that, after her 12 years of leading Liberia, there's no accountability for the $4 billion. My Ellen Johnson Sirleaf left Liberia with a debt. I told you, I keep telling you, this woman is a rogue. She accused our fathers of nepotism and had Samuel Doe execute them on the premise that they were nepotists. They were corrupt. Then she come back nearly 40 years later and commit the same crime that she killed 13 of Liberia's leaders and fathers for. And Liberian people won't hide it and won't pretend Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did anything for Liberia. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf destroyed Liberia. She brought the Civil War. She tried to recruit me. And I told her I'm not stupid to follow a murderer like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Charles Taylor in the name of my father. Am I stupid? Am I crazy? Am I dumb? Now you're coming back to hunt all these people that Ellen defenders and proteges and praisers. Some people they never stop talking about Ellen. Oh, Ellen Johnson this, Ellen Johnson that, Ellen Johnson this. Now you're coming back to hunt you. Ellen Johnson is a simple, petty, Harvard graduate criminal of an African nation. Then you'll say, why we attacking this other Harvard graduate, Lavella? I listened to Martin Colley today talking about one lady from Liberia who graduated from Harvard University. She said the people attacking. I said, you think when people will not attack the Harvard graduate, they're not in the favor and interest of Liberian people. They are criminals. You come to bring another Harvard graduate in Liberia, she's going to be under scrutiny. All Ivy League people coming to Liberia will be under scrutiny. They are educated rogues and criminals with no desire to build our country. We don't need Harvard graduates and those people to save Liberia. Those people too educated. We need common educated people who can translate and cause our people to understand and appreciate what is saying to them that is truthful. Not for them to rip our people of billions of dollars, $4 billion foreign development investment Ellen Johnson had in our country is bankrupt. Number 3, opulence is to have 11 budget shortfalls in 12 years. And yet, on failed all of this, have 11 budget shortfalls in 12 years and yet spend tens of millions on failed projects like the renovation of the executive mansion, which is a fiasco. That development project has been going on for years now. When will it finish? The people stole all the what the thing name? The protection from rust. Aluminum. They stole all the aluminum of the building that were put there when the building was first built to protect it from the sea and the salt. They stole all of that. Now we got to put more money into building, refurbishing that mansion and make it fit. And my Ellen Johnson has stolen money for that too. They stole the money for that. This woman is just a criminal. Number 4, opulence. Yes, before I go on, in 11 budget shortfalls in 12 years, there's the same shortfall thing we're talking about under George Weah, and nobody talking about Ellen Oppong. You'll see how Liberian people are deceitful, untrustworthy, and selective in the punishment of criminals. That's why our country cannot go nowhere. Our people are criminals. Let me go on. Number 4, opulence. When you spend over $1 million for oil law consultants, only to bring high school student grandchild to speak to experts. That's the part that made me laugh about Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. They said she spent $1 million on oil law consultants. But instead of bringing the consultant, she brought her little high school relative. I know that grandchild, why, but George Weah said that grandchild. Brought her high school grandchild to lecture the Liberian legislature and officials on oil. Can you imagine this? When I heard that thing, when I saw that in the newspaper, I couldn't believe that this woman did that thing to the Liberian legislature. Brought a high school student. So how much you pay him? 500,000? $1 million? What if you've had 1 million for consultant and you brought a high school student to speak to experts on oil law consultancy? Gosh. And the Liberian people are silent on this. Somebody said, my man, you don't have many viewers. I know, because I'm telling them the truth. And many Liberians cannot face the truth because they know they have betrayed our country. They are unpatriotic. They are greed-filled, deceitful people. The masses of our educated people, especially our native educated people, they are criminals. They come to Liberia to hustle, not to help our country. Now, yet, this other criminal with all his educated native criminals around him, stooges of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and now they're getting pissed off because they're being revealed, exposed. Let's go on to the next point. So Ellen brought her little child to teach them about oil. We don't know how much she paid him for the 1 million she had for consultancy. Opulence. When after 12 years of billions of dollars of foreign aid, you leave the country with $1 billion debt, my government is not paying back. You see? So after all this wealth, I told you my Ellen Johnson took all Liberian debts were forgiven. We had no debts. That is giving my Ellen Johnson Sirleaf a clean bank book and say, yeah, a bank book. Start charging up. And she charged up $4 billion foreign direct investment. That means they put it direct in the economy. And my Ellen messed it up. The Harvard graduate. Look at our upcountry. No roads. You mean $4 billion you couldn't take some of that money and pave Liberia? 12 years of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Our vehicles still cannot travel on a main throughway going up country. I mean, I guess it hurts me so much I knock my hands and my table not near me. But I flick my hand and you can hear me knocking my table because it's hurt me. It hurts me that all these Congo people and top native people sat with Ellen and ripped our country off. Now they're sitting down, fussing among themselves like little children. Because when they see the money and the country is dead, the blame got to fall on somebody. So my Ellen come up to blame George Weah, and George Weah said, no, you got the blame now. Now here are two leaders of the Republic of Liberia that have deceived us, that have broken our nation down, that have caused our children to be out of school, our people to be dying and being killed because they're speaking out against the evil. 4 auditors, honest, hard-working people die because these people are stealing. Ministers in Liberia got $2-3 million in Ghana bank. Nimpa, all these people, where you get all this money from to be putting in other country bank? And our people in Liberia have no money in our banks. Liberian people, are you stupid? Are you dumb? Now you telling me these people must stay in power for another 3 years? Our country ain't got no money. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has been accused by George Weah of stealing billions of dollars and leaving Liberia with a debt of $1 billion that his stupid idiot self is paying back. Who can you blame when you have the queen of darkness and the idiot of darkness working together? Is there any hope for Liberia and Liberian people? I can only talk. Y'all can say Chesson this, Chesson that, Chesson the other. But Chesson has never put his hand in stealing, corruption, and killing of my people like these criminals today. The second point of my lesson is Liberia in big money trouble. Everybody is talking about the release on the United States of America embassy in Liberia's website, warning businessmen, women, travelers, visitors to Liberia to be warned. You're traveling at your own risk. Take your own money. There is no money in the banks in Liberia. There is no money in the ATMs in Liberia. Don't go near the banks in Liberia. You deposit your money, there is no guarantee you can get it back. So what is the situation in my country? Why is the U.S. government posting a notice and alert throughout the world that my country has no money? I've never heard this before in the world. There are people being warned that our country is bankrupt. No money in the bank, no money in the ATM. You can't get no money in the country. What is happening in Liberia? How low down can our country go? And what have the wealth of these private people who are leading Liberia done to our nation and people? Our leaders care about themselves, their riches, and the stupid idiots building in Liberia and carrying their money in foreign countries. We got to get all these people money back. And Liberian people, y'all will wait that these people leave office for us to get our money back? Y'all will let Ellen Johnson Sirleaf die before we get our money back? Stop everything in Liberia now. We know that these people have admitted that Ellen Johnson steals and George Weah steals, and there's no money in our country. How will y'all sit down and let these people parade around Liberia without money in our country? What happened to our money? We want to know it now. We don't want to know it when Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is dead, when George Weah is out of office. Now you're sitting down, you're talking about 3 more years for this dummy. What will happen to us in 3 years? We ain't got no money now. How will Liberia build up itself in 3 years when we don't have money now? No investors coming. Martin Colley told you that on his podcast. There are ramifications to the U.S. stating to the world and warning the world not to come to Liberia with all your own money. And who coming to Liberia? You can't put money in the bank. You can't put money in the ATM. Who won't come to Liberia knowing that everybody will know that you got money in your hotel room, that you got money on you? Whether you take it out, you don't take it out with you, you leave it in your hotel room. Is it safe? Are you people stupid? You think I'm coming to Liberia knowing that I got to be in Liberia 1 week, I got to pay my rent, I got to feed myself, I got to have transportation, food, and all of that. I'm coming to Liberia with $5,000. I can't put it in the bank. I can't put it in nowhere. Investors coming to Liberia with $10,000 because they say you can't come to Liberia with more than $10,000 without notifying the people. So if you come with $7,000 to stay for 1 month, where you put that money? Everybody know you got money in your hotel room. You think you can't get robbed in your hotel room too? Nobody coming to Liberia. Nobody. It's a risk. If America wanted people that know where to put money, you can't temporarily put your money in the bank and withdraw it. You can't use your ATM card. When you go to the hotel to pay rent, you got to make sure the hotel will accept ATM cards. If they don't, you got to pay cash. So that society is not safe. Where in the world you see people walking around with a lot of cash on them these days and age? Not even in Ghana, not even in Kenya, the big progressive countries in Africa. People are veering away from cash because there are too many bank robbers and killers out there. It's safer when you have other means than cash. And we still a cash-ridden society. And you calling investors to come in? Where do people will stay? If they come there and no hotel guard can accept credit cards, where they will stay? They ain't bringing millions of dollars to Liberia. They know they can't bring more than 10,000. Or if anything happened to them, they can't get their money back. How do they get it back? No guarantee, no bank. So we are in big money trouble. And if you think this is a joke, you will feel it sooner or later. But can we live on a system like this for 3 more years? For 3 more days? For 3 more weeks? Can we live on a system that Ellen Johnson Sally gave us with a Forky Preacher? Everything happening in Liberia today falls on the head of my Ellen Johnson Sally. When you're deceitful, when you're wicked, when you want to preserve your own wickedness so that you can't be held responsible for it, it will come back to haunt you, Ellen Johnson Sally. It will come back to haunt you and take you down with it. My Liberian people, y'all can't go with these people for 3 more years. My Ellen has accused her successor of being wealthy at the expense of the Liberian people. And her successor, George Weah, has accused her of 5 counts of robbing Liberia with her sons and family. Will we punish these people for our money, or will we let them go for peace sake? This is a question we got to ask ourselves. Because as we lose our money time and time again, we're losing our lives and our future to evil and darkness and stealing as usual. My last topic for today, and before I get ready to go to the gym is open now, I gotta go pump it up. So when the Forky Preacher and his gang and Koji and all his CDC and be chasing me, I'll stand right there and flock every one of them with military techniques, and strategies. Ah! Aluta. Let's move on. Shall Liberia ever recover from the massive stealing? Ever? Only if our young children come to your senses. Only if our young people and nation realize that our leaders cannot rob our nation and pretend that they love us and care about us. Our leaders cannot take our money from our country and put it in foreign accounts as theirs and leave our country barren, poor, and suffering. As they and their children live among us, pretending to be in it with us, but their investments out of Liberia demonstrate that they are the very domestic enemies that we have fought to get rid of in our society for so long. We have repeated the chain of recircling criminals and rogues in our society. People steal, and we only punish them for a day or two and call them back into government, not asking for them to replenish our wealth and punishing them for the crimes that they violate on our constitution. But for peace sake, for peace sake, for peace sake, amongst you 16 tribal people, we always set our laws aside, our standards of justice, dignity aside to satisfy your useless tribal desires, traits of criminality and uselessness. The evils in Liberia today are the educated native people who come to Liberia for their hustle and not to work for the Liberian people. We can't see it over and act like it's not true. We cannot see it time and time again and pretend that it doesn't exist. We talk about educated people destroying Liberia, compare the Congo people with the native people, and tell us who are the real criminals among the educated people. The Congo people built Liberia to some extent. Yes, they ate the money too. We didn't punish them either. But they built the country. You can't steal the money and don't care about the people needs and the people wants and bringing some kind of decency to the lives of the Liberian people. People living in slum. The waters in our country, the feces flowing all through the city. Our market women sitting in feces and selling. How long? How long? How long can we endure the cruelty and evil of our own leaders against us and our posterity? The time of the Liberian people is now. CPP cannot help you. They're all the same people. We'll be here talking the same thing over and over. You'll need a warrior to change Liberia. And that's where Attorney Commander Galpohkpa Chesson stands ready, willing, and patriotic in his zeal to change Liberia and Liberian people's destiny. Aluta continua. The time of the Liberian people is now. Attorney Commander Galpohkpa Chesson of the West African Republic of Liberia is out. My young children, our future is in your hands. Change it now or wait for 3 years and see where you will be. I can take you to the well, but I will not bend your head and force you to drink. from the well of living waters. Aluta, I see you.